Hello, my name's Tom Belgrove and I'm the Business Solutions Group Manager for Queensland, and I'll be talking to you about the requirements for the development of drinking water quality management plans in Queensland for water service providers. The legislation was introduced into Queensland in July 2008 and has a phase-in period between 2011 to 2013, depending on the size of the local government. The Queensland government is not the first state to introduce legislation around improved water quality and the production of management plans to ensure improved water quality, but they are pushing it following the introduction of the purified recycled water for southeast Queensland, and with those higher standards that have been driven around purified recycled water. The legislation will require the 80 to 90 water service providers in Queensland to develop management plans. Each of those water service providers may have multiple schemes that aren't interconnected, and therefore each of those schemes will need to have a management plan developed, and that could be up to 300 to 400 across the whole of Queensland. The amount of effort and time and cost involved in developing this are a little unknown at this stage. Any of these management plans, you can approach it in a multitude of ways. One, you can go for basic compliance, or you can go for best practice, and depending which approach you take will depend how much time and resources you will have to introduce and undertake to develop your management plans. It will also depend on the complexity of the systems, the number of source waters, the number of customers, the number of reservoirs. All of these will be deciding factors in how complex a management plan that you will need to develop. The plans will be assessed by the Department of Environment and Resource Management. They will be approving those plans as they come in during the 2011, 12, 13 years. Each of those plans will also have a requirement to be independently audited by a certified auditor. The makeup of those certified auditors is currently being determined by the government in respect to the qualification, experience and background. There are a significant number of penalties in respect to the legislation. The first being the need to actually submit a plan in the associated timelines. Water service providers who do not have a plan in place are breaching the legislation. Those who don't then comply with their management plan will be breaching the legislation, and also those who knowingly supply water which is not fit for purpose are also likely for penalties under the Public Health Act. Those penalties are up to 3,000 units or 2 years imprisonment. The best advice I can give anybody is to get in and start preparing these management plans now. The 1st of July 2011 for the large players will be on them before they know it. There's a lot of information and data that needs to be collected. So get in, start preparing those management plans. If you don't act now, you will not have them in and approved by the July 2011 timeline. I'm Tom Belgrove. I hope this podcast has been useful and gives you a bit of background on the new legislation around drinking water quality management plans for Queensland.